What is up, folks? Welcome back to another live stream repair. Ooh, cameras are a little laggy here. Let's fix that. There we go. So, we left off yesterday. We had a bit of a power snafu in the middle of our stream. But we're back, we're here, and we're gonna wrap up 3570 here. Is that correct? Do I have all the names messed up here? Let's see, 3570. Let's see. Give me a second. Where's 3239? Okay, so we already did 3239. This one's gonna be 3570. I don't know why we never got that switched yesterday. There we go. I think that's correct. So yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff here to catch up on. Let's see, first one is 3570. Let's find them. Oh, I need to grab my laptop too. Okay. So we're looking for 3570 here. Let's see. Found them. Let's shoot them a link. Let's see, 3570. And then up next is David.
Stefan said, when a doctor doctors a doctor, does the doctor doing the doctoring doctor as the doctor being doctored wants to be doctored, or does the doctor doing the doctoring doctor as he wants to?
We already did David. We're on 3570. Next up is Laurent. That's better. That's fixed. Okay, cool. Laurent. Beautiful. All right, so here we are back with 3570, and we had gotten theirs taken apart yesterday. We already started some work, and our power went out. But I went ahead and finished replacing our filtering capacitors here. These are what love to go bad and cause death farts and all sorts of bass issues. We're going to carry on and flip this board around, looking for anything else stinky, smelly, or burnt that may have been also damaged from those filters. A common casualty is this 10 ohm resistor right here, and it's looking a little
Stefan said, obliterated
rough.
iPhone.
It's looking a little rough, so we are going to replace that. And then we do not need a new Schottky diode. That's got a date code of 36K. So here we go. We just need to get this resistor. We've already got the filters done. And then we'll put this HomePod back together with a good new subwoofer gasket. And that should be it for this one. There we go. Put some flux down to help get rid of any oxidation that might have built up. Give ourselves a good chance at a good quality solder joint here. No flux, no good solder.
Stefan said, "Where is Shuffle Hands? I need to tell him I found my watch."
He's got a YouTube channel. You could probably just comment on one of his videos too. That's interesting. Never had this happen to me before. Alright. Fine. Fine.
Stefan said, "Hey Siri, play CPR by Cupcake."
Aha! That's fantastic. Come on. Here's what we're gonna do. I'll hit it with the heat. I'll pull them off myself and fix it. You know, we might as well get the new resistor on there while we're messing around here. Heck, the hot air will probably fix that for us. There.
Stefan said, "Why is knife spelled as knife and not knife?"
Easy fix. With a little bit of hot air. And we got that replacement resistor on there. Okay. Let's get this back together.
Marvin said the iPod Hi-Fi sounds great and is loud AF.
Oh yeah, those things get real loud. Those are some serious party speakers. I would take mine with me to the beach. To the beach.
Stefan said did they pack it well? Marvin said super well. Stefan said hell yeah. Marvin said however, in the short time I could put it on full blast, the sound is not as good as Pod's Gen 1.
No, they won't sound as good. Loudness doesn't equal better sound always.
Marvin said it's great, but the HomePod sounds richer although they don't get as loud as the Hi-Fi. Stefan said HomePods are the best. Marvin said I still didn't get a multimeter for the last HomePod that I need to fix.
Goodness.
Marvin said yeah, my ADHD kept me busy with other stuff. I don't think he'll be able to fix it anyway.
Yeah, we have no idea without poking around. It could be a very easy little fix.
Marvin said he'll poke myself with the probes to give myself a lobotomy.
No, they're not that sharp. That would hurt a lot. They'll poke you, but you won't be able to I'll probably break.
Stefan said my sister wants my iPhone. She will pay for a new screen and back.
Well, then, you know what to do. Alright, I do believe we had to use a different subwoofer. I'll watch yesterday's stream to see what we... But I do believe this one came from one of my pods.
Marvin said I need to find rechargeable D-cell batteries for the Hi-Fi or go with the 18,650 cell mod.
I would do the 18650 mod. It's just going to last way, way longer and it's going to be worth the effort. I need to do it myself.
Stefan said I will put 10 18650 batteries up where the sun don't shine. Stefan said I'm joking.
I don't think you were.
Stefan said, or am I? Marvin said I wonder if you'd be able to stream with the AirPlay 2 mod while on batteries. There were AirPlay 2 to 30-pin adapters for cheap but I can't find them anymore other than a Raspberry Pi mod. Stefan said I lost my SIM card, fuck me.
Hey, watch your language. Yeah, you'd absolutely be able to stream with the
Stefan said, and that is why I want an eSIM iPhone.
You should be able to do the AirPlay 2 mod while you're on battery.
Marvin said, Stefan, anything can be a dildo if you're brave enough.
I'm just gonna not to say anything useful. Alright. Good? No? Yes. I was saying, I don't see why the AirPlay 2 mod wouldn't work on battery power. It's no different than the AC power. The internal power supply is still going to spit out the 3.3 and 5 volts that the hi-fi needs internally. Battery power AC doesn't change that. They're both...
Marvin said, please continue, Nick.
They're both...
I'd rather have a 30-pin AirPlay 2 adapter, though. I don't want to take the speaker apart.
Sounds like you might need to just get your hands on another hi-fi so you can do the AirPlay 2 mod on one of them and the battery pack mod on the other. I mean, you don't have to take it apart for the battery mod. You're just making a custom battery pack that fits in there. So that's not going to have any effect on an AirPlay 2 mod. You can do the batteries now and then the AirPlay 2 stuff later when you get bored with it. Alright, so up next is going to be Laurent with a similar...
Stefan said, let's go to the beach each. Let's go get away, they say. What they gonna say? Have a drink, clink. Found a Bud Light, bad bitches like me is hard to come by.
Sure, something like that.
Marvin said the battery pack mod. It's just a tube with 18,650 inside.
Ooh, that is quite poppy. So we've definitely got bad filters in there. Let's see who's next. 3579 with a brick. Let's shoot them a message and let them know they're next.
Marvin said the volume is lower on battery though, right? Please take away TDS from Stefan. Stefan said no.
You don't know how bad I want to.
Stefan said I need TDS.
Alright, 3579 has been messaged.
Marvin said, and I knew Stefan was spamming your I'm Sage. I sent you 3 messages and don't get a response because of him.
Well, you also Discorded me the same message and I didn't reply to you there either. So. I am just bad at messaging.
Stefan said, hear me out, get one of those anchor things and use it with the hi-fi.
I am bad at messaging and worse at small talk. I hate small talk. Pretty much if it's not life or limb, I don't really want to talk. I'm a very boring, dull person. Or if it's not about Z-cars. Or homepods. That's my flavor of ADHD that I have.
Who heard said YOLO Nicky.
What? What did that just say? Welcome,
Stefan
Kurt.
said, so I should call you when I need something. Marvin said, no, those anchor things are not what I'm looking for.
No, don't call me when you need something, because everybody's always calling me. They always need something. That's why I'm always strung out. Everybody's got my number and they always need me right now for something. I've been ruined. Oh, that's tough. Come on. Ah. Ooh.
Kurt Thubert said, Nick, I need you right now for something important.
Kurt, what is it saying? That's gotta be my favorite artifact of text-to-speech, in a while. Also, no, I have nothing for you. Leave me alone. You have something for me, though, don't you, Kurt? An Amazon package, perhaps?
Stefan said I need a new phone.
I have fuel hose waiting, so my car doesn't catch on fire from the leaky fuel hoses. I need those fuel lines, Kurt. I gotta drive to work tomorrow. I don't want my car catching on fire.
Kurt Goobert said it used to give up on reading my username and just say K, but now it tries to read the whole thing.
Yeah, it doesn't have the easy job. For not knowing what it actually says, it's not doing a bad job.
Kurt Goobert said I'll let my butt jet know you need those parts, stat.
That's okay, I think Jeff's just down the block already. I'll let him mosey his way up here. I'll never complain about stuff that you can have like delivered same day or next day like that. Although it comes at a great cost. I try to use it only
Stefan
when
said Mark give me the Zook.
Try to use it only when I really, really need to. And for some reason, O'Reilly's keeps trying to sell me fuel
Marvin
hose.
said don't you just hate it when your cat wakes you up like this? Meow. Meow. Meow.
Alright.
Meow. 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 Stefan said my cat ran away. Kurt Goobert said oh right, you're in Washington. Maybe you can call our mutual friend Luigi.
Let me talk! The subwoofer's dead. I'm gonna need another one. That is one stinky subwoofer, I can still smell it. But unfortunately, those filters went bad long ago, and it's too late. So we need a new subwoofer for Lauren's HomePod. Here, I'm just going to take it out of one
Stefan
of...
said ugh, I need a new phone.
I'm just going to talk over you, nerds. I need a hotkey to mute you suckers, so you can stop interrupting me. Actually, I'm going to add that really quick. I'm reclaiming control over my life. You guys can't have it. Let's see. Action.
Marvin said dingle dot dote eating letting do dolding the laden dong dollar dong gong ein nine. Kurt Goobert said who you calling nerd, nerd. Stefan said no.
Ha! Now I can shut you up. Whenever I want to talk, I'm gonna mute you suckers. And you can't interrupt me. And if you have something you want to say on TTS, you'll have to wait until I'm not saying something important. Uh-oh. Does it not, unmute? Does it only mute? That's actually going to be lame.
Marvin said test.
Oh. Okay, try it again. Yes? Alright, cool.
Said test.
Yes.
Marvin said test.
Yes.
Stefan said dang you fucked it up.
Stefan, watch your language.
Marvin said test.
Yes. Yes. Okay. A nice, not stinky subwoofer. My poor HomePods. I'll rebuild you one day. For now, we have more important matters. Let's tear this apart the rest of the way so that we don't just replace that subwoofer with another one. You don't want to just do that. It'll have the same meltdown in a matter of weeks or months. We need to get all the way in there and prevent that from happening with a set of new DC filters. And then while we're sniffing around, we'll see if it has anything else that needs attention. What do you mean you can't watch your language, Stefan? You're 16. That's not how the way you talk. That's just an excuse. You literally have to think what you're typing and hit enter. It's a conscious choice.
Stefan said no it fucking isn't.
Alright, you actually need to watch your language or I will mute you. Like, every once in a while is cool, but like, excessive is just annoying and offensive to some people.
Marvin said Nick swear words mean less to non-natives.
Oh, I know. It doesn't bother me. I'm more concerned about the people that are watching their HomePod get fixed. I'm not streaming this for Marvin and Stefan.
Stefan said okay.
I'm streaming this for Laurent and Dan and Mark and James here. Oh, it's stinky. Of course, another roasty 10 ohm resistor, a 46K dated Schottky diode. Man, what a rough cue.
Stefan said you forgot Ryan.
We won't talk about Ryan.
Marvin said I'm trying to be cautious with my language, don't put me in the same drawer.
Oh, I'm just using you as examples, don't worry. I had a roommate that was...
Stefan said what did Ryan do?
I had a roommate that would get really riled up over certain words. They weren't even terribly offensive words. They were pretty standard run-of-the-mill swear words. But they would just get so riled up about it. It wasn't like taking the Lord's name in vain or anything. It was just... just a weird thing they didn't like. Man. Something's up with my iron today. This is not fun. I think I ruined my tip.
Kurt said were they raised by Puritans?
No. Nah, but they were kind of religious. But it had nothing to do with religion, it was just the way that they were raised. Which is funny because it's just it's the same word that like Australians often use to refer to each other as like friends.
Stefan said you broke your tip.
Alright, today is not a great day. Today is not a great day, folks. I am not getting along with today whatsoever. I want it to be over.
Kurt said see you next Tuesday.
I want it to be over. And I want to wake up.
Kurt said TBS Tuesday.
I want to wake up on Friday. Let's get that roasty resistor.
Stefan said I want the day to be over too. Marvin said Nick I love you, Daddy.
Oh. Don't get weird on me.
Stefan said certified freak 7 days a week. Marvin said as per Stefan's request. Marvin said he bought a phone just for pictures of this wet and gushy. Pay my tuition just to kiss me on this wet and gushy.
So we're replacing this diode because it's got the date code that tells us it likes to cause no power issues. One of the most common issues that these come in for. I don't want to get this HomePod back. I want to fix it and send it back to them, and I don't want to get it back unless they're giving it to me. So we're going to replace this so that it has one less reason to come back to us.
Stefan said, give us some words of wisdom, almighty Nick.
I have no good words of wisdom right now. Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine. Gosh, none of you are gonna get that. Okay. We are set. Man, that's about as much as you can replace on these boards before I just say screw it, replace the whole thing.
Marvin said, does the infrared remote work when on AirPlay 2? On auxiliary it only mutes the music and not stop it on device. With the Bluetooth adapter only the volume controls work.
Yeah, it's the same with AirPlay because it's just an auxiliary input, mate. You gotta get the whole AirPlay 2 thing out of your head. The only thing that it's doing, all you're doing, is essentially connecting an Airport Express to the auxiliary input. So from there, it's going to behave and have the same features and limitations as any other auxiliary input to the hi-fi. So that means you're just going to have volume control. The AirPlay 2 comes from the Airport Express itself, but the Airport Express doesn't have any smart talk to the hi-fi. You're purely just, as far as the hi-fi is concerned, it's just another auxiliary source. And as far as the the Airport Express is concerned, it's just outputting an auxiliary audio source. But the remote will work to adjust the volume because that's adjusting the volume of the hi-fi, not.
Stefan said GGGGH.
Yeah, I think whatever. You know what I'm saying. This might be the last TTS we get.
Stefan said auxiliary.
We might do TTS like once a month. I can do it once a month, but weeklies, even though we didn't do it the past few weeks, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I can never talk. And frankly, it's just annoying. It has its moments.
Stefan said, I thought it would scream.
How are we missing a screw for the amplifier? Strange.
Marvin said, too bad the Bluetooth adapter doesn't react to the remote, although it could technically be transmitting play/house and skip.
Yeah, it could, but it don't. I don't know if there are any Bluetooth adapters out there that do that through the 30 pin. If there are, I want one.
Stefan said if the delay wasn't this bad we wouldn't be interrupting, but since the delay is 20 seconds plus we don't know if you are talking or no.
Oh, true, true, true. But I can't decrease the latency without...
Marvin said, does the older Gen Airport Extreme have AirPlay as well? I find mixed information about it.
I mean, the most accurate source of info on that's going to be to search it up on the internet, not asking me, right? As far as I know, the first gen... Oh no, the Airport Extreme does not. No. It has no such AirPlay capabilities. It doesn't have an auxiliary or an optical port on it. It's only got Ethernet and USB. The only airports that have auxiliary jacks and AirPlay capabilities are the Expresses. I've never seen an Extreme with an auxiliary jack on it, or a headphone jack. What was I saying? Right. The latency with the stream.
Marvin said, oh sorry, I meant the Express that goes straight into the wall.
All Expresses have AirPlay. The first gen Express has AirPlay 1. The Express V2 has AirPlay 2. But you can find this info on Google. The Wikipedia page is accurate. The latency of the stream, you can't fix that without... Like, I've got it set as low as you can get without impacting the quality. If I want lower latency on the stream, it starts to degrade the quality and you can't see what I'm working on. And, of course, you know, my priority is...
Kirkuherd said, pretty sure it did. I had one in my dorm room for AirPlay.
You know, our priority here isn't giving you guys a low latency so you can TTS me to hell. It's, showing you guys the work. Showing how it's done. The only other, you know what we could do? We could,
Stefan said, are you streaming in 4K or 1080p?
We do 4K, so that way you can zoom in. 1080p isn't high enough for you to zoom in and see some of the finer details. I forgot what I was saying. Man, I hate TTS. We're not doing this again. Sorry, folks. Not sorry. We can do TTS if we do like Discord voice. If we do a voice chat. That would probably work because then you guys can watch my video in the Discord channel instead of watching the stream. You don't have any delay. And then the people that want to watch the high quality stream instead of interact, they can watch the YouTube stream. That might work. What do you think of that? Like, I could even, if I'm not mistaken, I can join this channel.
Marvin said, I'm sorry Nick for interrupting you. I love the Discord stream idea.
No, don't apologize, I'm just being, I'm just being a stickler. Hold on, okay, can I enable...
I hear you, but I don't see a video.
Yeah, I'm fixing it. Hold on here. Okay. OBS virtual camera enabled. Turn on my camera. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, I think this is gonna work a heck of a lot better. And if I
It will.
go to the text-to-speech channel, I can move that over there. Yes. Okay. So, if you want to watch the high-quality version of the stream, you can head over to the YouTube live stream, and that will, you'll have like, what, 20 seconds of latency? Or you can TTS, you can join my Discord server, go to discord.gg/nixfix, and then you can hop into the HomePod Repair voice channel. And if you want to annoy me with your TTS, you can do so from there. Where were we with Lauren's HomePod? We're almost done putting this thing back together.
Hallo, Kurt de Wurst.
Stefan said this works.
Nice. I think this is going to work really well. I feel better about it already. I feel significantly less annoyed and grumpy already.
Stefan said this was actually a great idea. Marvin said, are we allowed to talk in the voice chat? Or should we use TTS?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. You want to speak in voice instead? You're more than welcome to. Just don't say anything heinous. For a while, I have wanted to get a way for people that wanted to talk on stream with us here. This is perfect. If you want to talk with me, you can just hop in the Discord. If you just want to watch, hello? This one should be turning on. There we go.
Stefan said hello.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. For more info, I'm having trouble connecting.
All right, that is way better. I'm gonna make sure, it looks like the volume button could be lined up a little better. So it's lit up just a little unevenly over there. So I'll spot check that before we ship it back out, but we've got it fixed. Here we have 3579, I believe, with a brick.
Marvin said ich have problem mit der Internetverbindung.
Let's see, who is this? 3579.
Marvin said that's the German text Siri would say. Stefan said I hear my message in the stream first, then with my TTS.
Haha, that's funny.
I'm having trouble.
Why does this turn on? Why does it boot up? Let me double check my notes here. 3579. It turns on, but only blinks volume buttons. Huh. We texted them. They didn't say anything. Obviously, they got our message. We got their HomePod.
Stefan said
I think we're gonna need to message this fella.
Stefan said, what the duck?
Okay, I've messaged number 3579 here. Gonna try to get more info from them. If it has a history of bricking itself and unbricking itself, it's probably gonna need a new logic board because that's a sign of a hardware issue, but maybe they sent us the wrong HomePod, maybe they put down the wrong issue, I'm not sure. Oh, I think we got a text from him. Last time you tried to reset. Let's go ahead and try to reset it here real quick. Anonym098, welcome to the stream. Is there any news for the touch panel replacements for the Mini and Gen 2? I have no news yet. But if you want to know the latest and the greatest as soon as it happens about those, you can join my Discord server and keep an eye on the HomePod text channels. Mr. Tech Nerd himself is in there, posting pictures of his work all the time in there. I'm just sort of echoing his work, trying to signal boost it. I don't believe they're ready yet. They're working on a few kinks, but they are going to be soon. I don't know if I'll be with shipping costs and then all this tariff crap going on now. I sincerely doubt I'll be able to afford buying a bunch of them and offering that as a repair for second-gen owners in America here. Unfortunately, that's just the way that things are now. But maybe and hopefully I am wrong, and we will be able to get our hands on some of those. I'm really
Stefan
hoping.
said, I'm censoring myself.
Good on you, Stefan. I'm proud of you. I believe in you. If you were my kid, I would be proud. Quack. So they said they tried to reset it. They started to try to update the software. About 20 minutes in, it started flashing. Oh, and they also got my Ovaltine reference. Very nice. Well, let's see if it resets itself. I'm curious what version it's on. I should have my test phone right here. Oh, yeah, let's get their name up on the screen here, too. This is going to be 3579 with a brick, maybe. And then it's going to be 3577. Let's find them and let them know they're coming up next here.
Stefan said, how many phones do you have?
I got a lot of phones. I only have one that has an active plan. Well, it's got 2 SIM cards in it, 2 active plans, but I only have one actual activated phone. All the others I've got, sitting around for testing or collecting, what have you. Why is it not there? There we go.
Kurt Goobert said, how do people regularly swap between iPhones and Androids without having iMessage problems?
That's a good question. Excuse me. That's a good question. I think most of the people that I talk to, I can text. So, I mean, and this was a problem with my mom. I would switch between my Android and iPhone a lot a few years ago, and my mom would iMessage me and then text me, and it handled it perfectly fine. Whenever I wanted to text her from my Android phone, I just shot her a text to her phone number, and then whenever I was on an iPhone or my Mac, it would automatically iMessage her. Obviously, it wouldn't see all of our texts, but...
Marvin said, I have two phones, one Android and one iPhone. Both with a multi-SIM, aka the same number on both SIMs. But the Android collects dust most of the times.
The Android. The Android.
Stefan said, do you have any iPhones on rare iOS versions?
I would have to check. I'm not nearly as big on the software versions that they run as much as I am just collecting the hardware itself and having the hardware. But I'm sure in my...
Goobert said, but Marvin, do you miss a bunch of iMessages when you're using your Android?
I'm sure I've got a few pretty rare software versions in my stack over there. I'd have to do an inventory. I really need to.
Marvin said, isn't there the app called Beeper which relay iMessages also to Android?
Didn't that get shut down? No, there was this big iMessage proxy that like blew up and then got shut down.
Stefan said, I have an iPhone 7 on iOS 10 and one on iOS 11 and an iPhone 6 on iOS 9.
Did that just... I think that might have... Did you guys see that? The light just went away.
Stefan said, dead diode in action.
Nah. Dead diodes, it either works or it doesn't. They don't work again. When they die and they stay dead. Permanently. It's like it's a lot like a fuse. Diodes don't have intermittent behavior like that. Actually,
Stefan said maybe it just died.
Maybe it did just die. I see what you're saying now. Maybe we did witness one die right in front of our eyes.
Kurt Goobert said, do HomePods have power supply issues?
No. See, it's restarting. That's interesting. They generally don't have power supply issues. At least here on 110 volts in America. We do see a common issue overseas on 220 volt AC power where the heat and humidity during the summer can collect moisture inside and cause one of the big juicy caps on the power supply to explode and cause a whole bunch of more problems and corrosion inside. But I've never seen that happen on any US powered HomePod. I've only seen and heard of this, granted a lot of times, but only on pods overseas outside of America.
Stefan said maybe it got neglected and dropped on its head. Marvin said, I don't have to switch, both devices ring when I get a phone call.
There it is. There's the blinkies. I'm gonna unplug it really quick. And then... let's see what it does. Is it gonna come back or is it gonna blink?
Marvin said, and iMessage is always enabled since I didn't pull out the SIM of the iPhone.
So the thing with the touch panels that I'm noticing on the second gens, it looks like the part that he's reproducing is the touch film itself. So this is like a plastic film, capacitive film that's glued to this plastic top. He's reproducing the film itself, not the tops. And from what I can tell, you have to rip the old one off, clean it, and then perfectly put the new one back on. So what they're making are the replacement films that you with the ribbon on it. And the reason why these fail is because they're made up of capacitive layers, and they start to separate and get contaminated over time. Well, there it
Stefan
is.
said we need to get that guy in here, the Chinese guy.
There's the blinkies. I have a feeling this one's going to be a hardware issue. Especially considering the symptoms leading up to this. But it would behoove us to at least try a software restore first. And see what's going on here. Maybe it is just a bad software load and it's acting up. Needs a full clean reload to straighten itself out, and we'll be all fine and dandy, but let's find out here.
Stefan said send it my way.
Here we go. We will pwn it, we'll reset it, and we will push our firmware. Excuse me. What's it gonna give us?
Stefan said HomePod giveaway. When?
How many subscribers do we have? We have 2,891 subscribers right now. If I get 3,000 subscribers, we'll give away another HomePod. How about that? It looks like it is taking the software restore. So here's what we're going to do. This could take 10, 15, 30 minutes. I'm going to put the laptop down to the side. And we're going to let it do its thing while we multitask a little bit here. We're going to work on number 3577 here with no power.
Kurtuert said BRB I need to make a few hundred YouTube accounts. Stefan said make sure I win.
Alright. So did I already let 3577 know? I did. Indeed I did. So I'm going to put their name up next to 3579 here. They have no power. So let's see if we can't rectify that. First, let's confirm. Yes, no lights, no power. No, nothing there. We're already 10% of the way through the software restore on 3579. Very cool. So here we go. 2 pods in one go here.
Marvin said I'm still hoping to receive my electric screwdriver. Stefan said my Mataboot is about to overheat. Stefan said I'm waiting for that screwdriver too.
You get a screwdriver, and you get a everyone gets a screwdriver. If I can cobble enough parts together from all of the other ones I've got, I'll give a few of those away too.
Stefan said you need 3,000 screwdrivers.
Yeah, I just use a new screwdriver for every new HomePod that I work on. Yeah, I don't know why these things don't last that long. They just stop working after like 50 screws, and then I just have to throw it away and buy a new one. What do you mean it's rechargeable?
Kurt Goobert said, what screwdriver bits do you recommend?
Ooh, I have been searching far and wide, hard and long for decent 4mm bits that fit, you know, like the iFixit screwdriver and my electric driver. The problem that
Goobert said hard and long.
The problem that I keep
Stefan
finding.
said hard and long.
The problem that I keep finding is two problems, actually. The material that they're often made out of is this crappy gray steel that falls apart and only lasts like 10 screws before they start stripping stuff. And the neck on the is so much shorter. I have never been able to find bits that have this long neck like this. Even though that's the same overall length, that extra skinny long neck helps reach screws in you know, where you can't normally reach them sometimes. So iFixit have been the only ones that sell bits like this that I can find, and they last far longer than whatever this gray steel or magnesium or whatever the crap this stuff is. I hate it. Completely useless. If you get bits like those, just throw them away. I have never used, frankly, ever a set of bits that last worth a crap. Except for iFixit's bits. They last. Not sponsored. Although I'll gladly take one.
Marvin said, I missed the time where Apple support made you type in diag / in Safari for diagram onsing iPhones.
Those were the days. Crux, welcome back.
Stefan said, I want to get the Pro Tech Toolkit, but I don't have money and I can't find any here in Serbia.
Ooh, yep. Yeah, if you can save up for it, that the Pro Tech kit, it just, I have not, like, it's had every bit I've ever needed. It even has a bit that I was able to use to remove the valve out of my tire, so that I could fully deflate it and patch it. Freaking fully kitted out, worth the money. I bought a second one for myself just so that I'd have one in my backpack everywhere I go, and then I have one here at my desk, and I don't have to run around the house trying to find or swap them around.
Stefan said, I need Jimmy.
The Jimmy. Gotta be careful with Jimmy, though. It bites back.
Kurt Goobert said, you should stream what you carry in your backpack. I want to see.
Oh, my backpack's boring right now. I need to redo my loadout.
Marvin said it's sold out on German Amazon now too.
It's quite.
I'll ordered it for you and shipped it to you.
Quite quite a low carry that I have recently. I've just got my Microsoft backpack with my 16-inch MacBook Pro, my 12-inch iPad Pro, my AirPods Max, my AirPods Pro, a battery bank, my iFixit Tech toolkit, a spot welder, a couple of flash drives with different OSs, a standard set
Stefan
of...
said Nick carries guns, bombs, and one HomePod mini.
And just, the standard set of cables. I got a Cat 5 cable, I got micro USB, mini USB, USB A to B, Lightning 30-pin, got a couple of video cables, VGA, HDMI, DisplayPort, DVI to VGA. Okay, I do carry a lot, actually. Now that I...
Marvin said the HomePod mini is the most lethal. Nick boinks heads with it. Stefan said yes standard, let me pull out my ducking Cat 25 cable.
Hey, you never know. You end up in a hotel room that has crappy Wi-Fi, but they've got an Ethernet jack. You bet I'm jacking in.
Marvin said I just bring my fritz box with me, LOL. Stefan said I just use Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but what if the hotel doesn't have good Wi-Fi? What if it doesn't have Wi-Fi? What if everyone's using the Wi-Fi? If everyone's using the Wi-Fi, then no one's gonna get to use it.
Stefan said just get a SIM card to...
Data plans in America are an absolute joke. A total travesty. There are eSIM companies sprouting up there that make it...
Marvin said Fritzbox LTE that's in my car trunk for onboard Wi-Fi. I have DHAAC cable in the trunk as well.
But,
so I can help myself in hotels. Kurkunerd said I just tether everything to my phone, LOL. Stefan said Starlink Mini.
Starlink, if it wasn't Elon, yeah, that'd be a great option. In America, it's a lot less convenient to just up and get a data plan. I know in other countries it's really trivial, but in America it's not so. And you can tether, but the tether has its limitations. You only get so much data with it. You gotta pay more for faster. Kinda sucks.
Marvin said I just got lucky with my contract TBH. 120 GB for 7.49 euro.
See, that's great. That's awesome. I would pay for that.
Marvin said no limitations uselessly in Germany for tethering and no speed cap.
You get 2 gigs of high-speed tethering on my plan, and then it throttles down to I think 4G.
Kurkunerd said LMAO we get 30 GB and pay like $300 per month.
Yeah.
Stefan said I have a plan with 200 GB in Serbia and 50 GB for roaming for $25 without speed limitations.
Cellular in America.
Kurkunerd said it's okay, at least we don't live in Canada.
Is a joke.
Somehow it's even worse there.
Yep. It is, that's what I've heard. True.
Marvin said my plan comes with up to 3 multi-SIMs, aka same phone number, and up to 7 data SIMs.
Sponsored by. What is our restore progress on 3579?
Triku said, hey Canada, I'll trade you expensive phone plans for Orange President.
It failed. Did I bump it?
Stefan said, Orange boy.
It failed halfway through. I'll try it one more time here.
Marvin said, however, my plan for that price is like the winning lottery ticket in Germany. It's usually not that cheap. The same usually cost 40 to 50 euro a month.
Alright, so we got those filters replaced. Those like to fail and cause death farts and all sorts of base issues. We're now going to hit that diode that failed and is causing 3577's no power issue here.
Hello, Zoom.
Zoom, welcome, welcome.
Dude, what is this? Why are you guys here and not on YouTube?
Oh, we're doing both. So, I'm live streaming to YouTube because of the latency in TTS. It was getting a little awkward with people interrupting me all the time. So for people that want to interact a little latency with the TTS, they can watch the stream in Discord. But if they care about the quality more, they can hop over to the YouTube stream. It's TTS Tuesday.
Stefan said TDS dudes.
I think we could also fully swap to voice chat because Stefan won't be able to do crap
Yeah,
on voice chat because he's trying to speak.
And he'll never talk. Oh, he talked.
Now you have like community engagements. You have chat engagements. That's how you farm your YouTube, you know?
Stefan said I talk sometimes.
I think I heard Stefan say like 2 words when I was working on my car in the Discord the other day. And that was it.
Anyway, I just popped by to see what's happening. Have a good night, everyone.
Hey, thanks for dropping by.
Oh, damn. It's quick.
Alright. New filters, new diode. That's as fresh as it's gonna get.
Stefan said I talk when it isn't 12 a.m. and my parents are sleeping.
You know what you should do, Stefan? You should put the TTS on speaker, so that way your parents can hear. Your parents can hear all the wonderful things you're saying.
Stefan said the don't give 2 ducks.
Well, it's nice at least that they cared enough to take you to find your Apple Watch the other night, though. Unless they were the ones that paid for it, in which case I would have too. But if it was my parents, they would have said you can bike your butt down there and find it yourself.
Marvin said they paid for it and they didn't want to hear him cry.
Jeez, rough. Nivernal, what is up? Welcome back.
Marvin said Stefan destroys so many devices and loses stuff. It's crazy. He should put an AirTag on anything.
He's like me when I was his age. I couldn't keep a phone together for more than a few weeks at a time.
Stefan said I paid for it back when it came out. Kurt said I was working for Apple when Series 0 released and I got it for half off. Stefan said did chores and shiz for money. Marvin said HomePods were half off for the employees too. I remember.
Ugh. I would have worked for Apple just to get access to that. And then I would have bought like 500 HomePods and then quit. My entire paycheck would have just been going straight into HomePods.
Kurt said yeah, but we only got one. Marvin said only one, no Nick.
No!
Don't get your hopes up, haha.
No! They wouldn't. Oh, I'd buy so many from them, they would want me to.
Stefan said I'm due for an upgrade anyway, so it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Alright, looks like the second attempt of the software restore in 3579 is going a lot better here. I must have bumped the cable in the middle of that.
Stefan said the battery health is at 61%. Marvin said the employees didn't even get half off for the Vision Pro.
Ouch. But I mean, I'm not surprised.
Kurt said my Vision Pro gave me huge headaches and I returned it. Marvin said and that product could have needed it. Stefan said Tim is a butch sometimes.
See, like, the thing is can you replace Tim and fix all of the problems? Do all the problems come from Tim? Or did Tim kind of inherit their problems and carry the torch?
Stefan said replaced him with Nick.
Yeah, replaced him with me. I'll fix all their problems. I'll show you. Make me the next CEO of Apple.
Marvin said same Kurt. I had a demo around noon, and my eyes were hurting for the rest of the day until I fell asleep. Kurt said Tim is the master of supply chain but not much else. Stefan said I can't wait to go do a demo. Marvin said Tim is master of greed.
My work got a Vision Pro. I got to try it out. It's nice. Like, it's the nicest take that I have tried on VR. Didn't give me any motion sickness or eye hurting problems. But I can't justify that cost. Maybe if it was half as much. I'll wait till I can get a broken one to fix for myself.
Marvin said it is nice, but not €4,000 nice.
Yeah.
The camera quality in a well-lit room aka the Apple Store wasn't too great. Kurt said I got the headaches even with the custom prescription lenses made.
Thankfully, I've got good eyesight. So I wouldn't need any lenses.
Stefan said I heard they might release the Vision SE or something like that this WWDC.
Yeah, I doubt that. It'll probably be another year or two before they do a budget Vision. They've been rumoring a budget Vision ever since the Vision was announced.
Marvin said I got good eyesight too, but my eyes still hurt. Kurt said Nick, Apple won't survive if you have the company sell only HomePods.
Shh, don't tell him what I'm trying to
said
do.
Vision SE only $1,999.
I'm totally not gonna just turn Apple into a nothing but a HomePod company, guys. Come on. I wouldn't do that. But I would invest in another company that would revive them.
Marvin said Stefan a Vision SE is not gonna save the product TBH. Stefan said HomePod. Kurt said honestly I'd probably buy one at $2,000 just for shits and giggles.
Alright. The moment of truth for both of these HomePods. 3579's software restore has finished. We just gotta flip it over and power cycle it.
Stefan said what would happen if you put googly eyes on your eyes while setting up the persona thing.
Alright, let's see. Will 3579 work? Will 3577 work? Yes. It's looking good so far.
Marvin said nah, I'm good. Not a fan of Apple TV either, only have one cause I got it dirt cheap used.
Oh, I love my Apple TV. Oh, I love my Apple TV. Especially because I've got a 65-inch TV, a Samsung TV, and the built-in OS and all the smart features are obnoxious and awful, and it's basically a giant billboard for Samsung in my living room. But if I unplug it from the internet and I use an Apple TV instead, all my problems are solved. And I've got I can AirPlay to all my stuff. I love it.
Kurt said I love my Apple TV so much.
Yep, I love my Apple TV.
Marvin said don't get me wrong, the quality is nice, but I wouldn't buy one unless it's cheap.
Well, I personally, I bought, out of all the things that I do not buy new, I bought my Apple TV new. I bought my first 4K new, and then I bought my most recent 4K brand new. For 100...
Kurt said I blocked my LG C3 from accessing the internet.
For $100 and some change, it's, I'm not complaining. Let's see if this thing can set up, because the last time we plugged it in, it booted up and it reset, but it failed in the middle of the setup. So let's see if this is working now.
Stefan said I want that HomePod from that person from Serbia that wanted you to fix it.
I will, I doubt they still have it, but I'll let them know. I'm a little hesitant to connect a complete stranger in Serbia with another stranger in Serbia that's 16 years old. But, I hope you can understand my hesitation there. But, we can think about it. Maybe I'll get you guys as each other's information, and I don't know, as cringy as it sounds, you might want to talk to your parents and have them supervise that, but
Marvin said the Sony Bravia I have is great. My mom's LG is S, so I gave her the Apple TV with the stereo pair Gen 1s. Stefan said no need to connect us, just tell them to put it up for sale on Kyokugem Pro Day Jam.
oh, true. I could do that. I mean, are there fees? Would everybody be happy just doing a direct sale and not worrying about fees, or is that the way to go?
Stefan said no fees.
That's oh, very nice. Wow, shoot. Okay, let's message 3482.
Marvin said damn Kyokugem Pro Day Gem is 1:1 Craigslist.
All right. Let's get the names fixed here. Oh, it's hailing. My poor car. Where's my wife's car? Oh, she's gone. That's right. All right, 3482.
Marvin said insured may claim.
Okay, let me go check my car. Oh, that's awful. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Oh man. Looks like 3579 here is going to need a logic board after all. Unfortunately, it failed to set up the same way. I'm sure it's going to blink the volume buttons in a second here. Oof. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to spend some more time with this one. It's probably going to need a new logic board, but we're going to need another day with this one. I don't like how it's doing all of that. I don't like this. Standing around. Alright, I'll be surprised if anybody gets that one. Oh, I am still covered in hail. It is still major hailing. I'm gonna go. Nah, it should be okay. It should be fine. It should be fine, right? Will we be okay? I got most of my glass covered. That's oh. I had most of my glass covered. Alright. Enough distractions. Not much else we can do about that. We've got 3482 here with no lights, no power, a couple of watts from the wall. After 3482 is going to be Ryan. Let's let them know they're up next.
Kurt said I found out from the Rivian forums that if my back window ever breaks they literally have to smash off the rear spoiler and cameras to get the window out.
Ha ha! No way. Wow, it was so cold. It got so cold outside so fast that my hands are slowing down. I can only type it. Oh goodness, maybe 100 words per minute. That's too slow. That's way too slow. That's unacceptable. That's barely passing.
Kurt said I don't think anybody at Rivian ever considered their cars would need to be repaired. Marvin said be right back. Gonna air out my lungs. Kurt said don't forget to put the air back in.
I think the hail has finally subsided. And it's just the rain now. Rain's gone. I'm gonna go bring the blankets back in.
Stefan said my MacBook sounds like it is going to take off.
You've gotta be fucking kidding me!
Stefan said what happened.
You've gotta be fuck off kidding me! Fuck this house! Fuck this city! Fuck this power! Fuck this shitty power lines!
Stefan said huh. Kurt Goobert said oh hope things aren't too bad. Stefan said that sounds serious.
Can't go a single fuck off day without the fucking power going out. Did the stream come back at least? I've still got you guys in the Discord, right?
Kurt Goobert said still here. Stefan said you are still up and running.
Hell yeah. We're gonna have to go back and bleep ourselves out. Okay. I don't want the kids hearing me cursing and swearing. I love how my power stays on throughout that
Stefan
whole
said and you get mad at me for swearing SMH.
that whole hailstorm. Not a flicker. But it stops, and then we lose our power. Help me understand.
Kurt said I just got an Echo Power battery for camping but I'm also using it as a UPS.
Ooh, that was dusty. Like, I've got everything on backup batteries, but I found out when the power went out yesterday that the battery inside of the one for my main router, of course, has gone bad. So it doesn't, it can't survive a freaking 2-second blip. So then I gotta run back there and turn it off and back on. If it restarts fast enough, the stream picks back up, but usually it doesn't. And at that point, I just, I don't have the patience to keep going. But as far as I can tell...
Stefan said his shuffle hands in the YouTube chat.
No.
Kurt Goobert said honest question, does keeping the modem and router alive work even if the power is out for the area?
Does keeping it alive even if the power is out for the rest of the area? It depends. It depends on where the power went out. If the power went out between me and what connects me to my MTX, then I'm good. But if whatever took the power out also took down my MTX, so okay. Right, I've got fiber at the house, so I've got a fiber cable that goes out of my house and then a few blocks down the street to an MTX on a telephone pole. That's basically, I don't know this stuff very well, but my understanding is that's some kind of channelizer or muxer or amplifier. You know, it basically goes from my house a few blocks down the street to a pole, and then from that pole further down until you get to the data center that we get, or the routing center or whatever. So basically, if the power goes out and it's only affecting my house, it's not affecting the stuff on the utility poles that are powering my internet. Yeah, I still have internet. It's kind of like your phone. If you remember when you had a landline, a lot of landlines had backup batteries built in, and so long as you powered your phone, you could place and you could make and take calls all day with no power to the rest of your house.
Kurt said our landlines never went out until they took them away.
But I'm doing an absolutely awful job explaining that. I don't really know what I'm talking
Marvin
about.
said the Frix boxes don't even have a battery, so they will always go offline. But we had a power outage like once in the 19 years we lived in the city. Kurt said when I was a kid the power went out all the time in the summer, but now it's stable. Marvin said our power in Germany also isn't coming from poles to the house, but underground.
Yeah, that's another problem we have over here where I live, is none of our power is underground, it's all above ground. And it's really lame.
Kurt said Southern California is mostly underground wires.
We also have, like, no air conditioning. Like, they only passed a law a few years ago that mandated new homes being built have air conditioning in them. So, like, practically speaking, anything that you rent or buy that's, like, I think, like, 5-10 years or older probably isn't going to have air conditioning. And
Kurt said it didn't used to be hot in the PNW.
Yep, it didn't used to be hot. You didn't used to need it. Never got hot enough for it. But we won't go down that discussion.
Marvin said we don't have aircon in Germany either. LOL. I bought a used portable one from American military people.
The portable ones suck. Oh man, those suck. I mean, it's having some cool air blowing in your face is going to be better than nothing, but they're not going to... They're awfully inefficient. You should watch...
Kurt said I would die without air conditioning. It's my most American trait.
You should watch the Technology Connections video on air conditioners.
Kurt said because of Technology Connections I've been trying to convince my parents to install a heat pump.
Oh, heat pump's the way to
Marvin
go.
said I am aware, but in summer it's nice. I saw that video. But we rent this place and Germans don't like aircon. They would rather fry in the burning heat for the 2 weeks of summer.
Yeah, and if it was only 2 weeks out of the
said
summer...
I hate school.
If it was only 2 weeks out of the summer, I probably wouldn't bother either.
Kurkumert said I literally picked my current apartment because it doesn't get hot. Marvin said it's only really hot for 2 to 4 weeks. So a portable one is fine.
Alright, we've gotten our
Kurkumert said
maintenance.
I toured apartments during a 108-degree heat wave and it was only 74 inside and I was sold.
We got our maintenance done. Let's get this diode replaced. That's what's causing our power issues. Those filters that we just replaced have nothing to do with our power issue. It's just a preventative measure for death farts and all sorts of base issues.
Marvin said we have heated floors though.
Heated floors are so nice. I've only been in one house that's had them, and oh, buddy. The whole house had it.
Stefan said it snowed yesterday and the day before it was 20 degrees C.
Oh, you know what I'll hate forever? Why does my iron say that it's at 500 degrees Celsius when it's cold? Oh, because it's...
Marvin said 20 C is about 70 F for our Americans.
There we go.
Stefan said 70 Eagles. Marvin said I bought a cheap heat gun and people said the temperature is off by about 20 degrees Celsius.
That's optimistic. Cheap heat guns are a complete basket case, like ours here.
Marvin said it worked and let me fix the HomePods. I'm also not doing it almost industrial style like you.
Well, we still my heat gun's not a nice one. It's the cheapest one you could get on Amazon 4 years ago. It's by no means a nice one. I'm surprised it still even works.
Kurkumert said what are the absolute basic necessities I need to replace one transistor on a little board?
Depends on how big it is, if it's surface mount or through hole. What components are nearby. There's a few variables, but I mean, you're going to want a soldering iron. You might need to do a hot air station, but you'd probably be okay with a soldering iron. You want to get yourself some low melt, low temperature solder to assist in removing the old component. And then you want, obviously, some flux, your new component. It would behoove you to have a multimeter so you can confirm the problem is present and that it's fixed. That's about what I could think of off the top of my head. Oh, and of course, you know, regular solder, because you don't want to use low melt solder to actually put stuff onto boards. You just want to use low melt solder to lower the melting point to make it easier to get old stuff off of the board.
Stefan said I think my finger is broken. Touch ID doesn't let me register my thumb on any of my home button phones. Kurkumert said do you have a multimeter recommendation? I need a new one.
I do not have any recommendations. I have not found a multimeter that I have been very happy with yet. But I have been looking at EV Blog's multimeters. He's a smart guy. He's got a great channel, lots of great content, and I trust that he is building and selling good quality multimeters out there. I've been meaning to get my hands on one of their meters.
Marvin said I paid $25 for mine on AliExpress and was delivered within 5 days.
But they're not cheap meters.
Marvin said for the heat gun.
So if you're looking for a super cheap multimeter, anything will get the job done. But if you want a multimeter that'll last you a while, give you some good features, and not fall apart after a few uses, I would consider the EV Blog ones just to look at.
Kurt said, oh, the EV Blog is $100.
Yeah, not cheap, but I mean, if you're just like you can't go wrong with the cheap like Harbor Freight multimeter, like the cheapest ones that they have. Like I said, they'll get the job done. You can check for shorts, you can check for resistance, you can check voltages, you can check amperage. And if you just need it for 1 or 2 jobs, it'll probably do you just fine.
Kurt said my mom loves her German sewing machines. Kurt said they're so old they say made in West Germany, LOL.
Oh wow.
Marvin said it ain't the 90s anymore. All stuff is made in China or Eastern Europe now. Stefan said Nick.
What?
Kurt said yeah, most of her machines are from the 70s and 80s and get taken to the repair shop every few years. Stefan said Nick.
What?
Marvin said Dominic. Stefan said duck these last few pods, let's get the cancer cube.
No.
Marvin said Stefan go ahead and make your own C cube. Kurt said I'm out of the loop, what's the cube?
The cube.
Stefan said I'm sure Ryan, Mark, Dan, James, and 3568 won't mind.
No, they'll mind.
Kurt said Nick, do you have a G4 cube?
I do. Complete with power supply,
Stefan said MRP.
mouse, monitor, everything. Speakers, I got it all, the whole kit. Uh-oh, another brick.
Stefan said Bicky boy.
I miss the days when I could just...
Marvin said the Bluetooth adapter is a little annoying.
I'm having
It
trouble.
turns itself off when no music is playing and you have to unplug and replug it.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Oh, seriously? 3592?
Stefan said I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
It turns on, but boots indefinitely won't set up. This is another one where... Oh, God.
Stefan said they lied.
No, it's probably a freaking bad logic board, and I'm actually about to lose my mind over all of these bad logic boards. I don't have the parts to fix all of these, and I can't afford to keep fixing all of these. It's getting to the point where I'm just going to have to start telling people for certain issues that it's going to cost way too much to fix. I'll buy it off of them, or they can pay twice as much for the repair, but man, this is starting to really burn me out. I can't keep doing this. What is wrong with this HomePod? I'm not even dealing with this right now. I'm going to email him and ask him what's up with it and get the full story. Because it's working fine for us right now, but it's probably the same issue as the other one that we saw, which is it'll work fine for now. We go to use it. Hell, we could even sit here for 2 weeks and test the damn thing, and it'll work just fine for us. But the moment we send it back to them, it'll blink again.
Kurt said I think it's totally fair to charge more for more expensive repairs. Stefan said just get the parts, it's not that hard.
Yeah, but then people don't want to pay that much anymore. People are already complaining about us charging as much as we do for repairs now. People constantly ask us for discounts, and then they turn around and they're like, how do you make money doing this? It's like, I don't. And I can't. If I charge as much as I would have to actually make a reasonable amount off of these repairs, people wouldn't want to pay for the repairs anymore. We're reaching that point. 3 or 4 years ago when we started doing these, and you couldn't, you'd used ones weren't $100 and broken ones weren't more expensive. What the hell is going on? I'm gonna rant for a second here and I'm gonna make 0 cents. Alright, here we go. Angry Nick.
Stefan said, can I get 99% off if I send in 2 Serbian rocks? Marvin said, I'm pretty sure Christian also got 2 pods with broken logic boards. It seems like it's turning into a common issue now.
Yep, Chris has 2 HomePods that need logic boards. 3561 was no power, and we got it fixed for no power, and it also had a bad logic board. 3558, no power. We fixed the power issue. Surprise, surprise, faulty logic board as well. Who else? 3579, 3592, 3553 as well. I've had 7 HomePods in the past week for no power. Completely unrelated to anything that could do with the logic board. And then we fix it, and ooh, big surprise.
Stefan said, hell yeah, my Wi-Fi died.
The frickin' logic board's dead too. Ah! I can't take it anymore. I'm crashing out, folks.
Marvin said, valid crash out.
I wouldn't be so upset if people weren't being so freaking greedy with the broken ones. I can't afford broken ones anymore because everybody wants at least $100 for one that they've already tried taking apart and completely destroyed. People legitimately want less for used working HomePods than these broken ones. It gives me an aneurysm. And then I give reasonable offers to these eBay sellers that have been trying to sell these broken HomePods for like 4, 6, 12 plus months. And then they just turn around and they're like, no, you can pay my asking price. It's like, okay, fine, I won't. I just won't. I won't. Oh! What are we gonna do?
Stefan said, sorry if I interrupted you, my Wi-Fi was down, I didn't know if you were talking.
No, you're okay. What are we gonna do? I don't have enough logic boards. I need like 8 logic boards right now, and I've got 1. I've got 1. And I've been cheating on you guys. I've been stashing all those other logic boards. You might have noticed when I swap the logic board and I don't fix it here and now, I say I'll put this to the side and we'll fix it later. Well, gosh, I've been trying to fix all these other ones. None of them, I can't get any of them working again. They all have, they won't set up. They won't stay connected to Wi-Fi. They have no sound. It won't, there's on and on and on. None of this would be nearly as frustrating if Apple didn't make it so difficult and obnoxious and impossible. And like, alright, I think I'm almost done with I'm almost done. I'm feeling better. What else can I throw around?
Marvin said we need to find a fix for the logic boards. But it sounds like the logic boards are fired beyond repair.
Well, it's
Stefan said you were cheating. How dare you?
The problem is there's just there's so much that you have to try just to see if that fixes it. And then it doesn't, and if it doesn't, then you've wasted all that time, and then you need new parts that you can't A, get, or B, put on there without having to re-serialize everything, which you can't do. Man, what a show. What a show. What a show. What do we think?
Stefan said snap a board in half, it will make you feel better.
What do we think? Oh, my wife's almost home. Shoot. We're out of time. Ideal. I don't think I can fix any more of these without blowing my freaking head off. From how worked up I am right now. Like, that's just absolutely I don't know. Let's go ahead and, no, did we message these guys? I don't want to work on it if we didn't message them yet. We didn't. We did not. Let's try this one. We're just gonna hang out here for a few minutes until my wife gets home. I really don't want to work on anything else, but we'll hang out here until she gets here.
Stefan said, hear me out, Cancer Cube, before wife gets home.
No. No Cancer Cube. Why does that work? Okay, hold on. Hold on. Does it reset?
Marvin said, yes, snapping things in half is a childish trait to have.
No, I don't want to break any boards. They're full of good parts. I just saw what you said. I'm not
Your
snapping.
HomePod is about to reset. Keep pressing until you hear 3 beeps.
Like, it might feel good in the moment to snap the board in half, but down the road when I need the parts, I'm gonna regret that.
Marvin said, period.
How many HomePods do I have showing up for myself? Do I have enough parts showing up to at least fix this stuff in the next day or so? Okay, it reset.
Marvin said, can you explain what resetting will tell you what's up with the HomePod?
Well, I just need to reset it so I can set it up and see. If you remember, with the other one that we ran into, 3579, just a few pods ago, it powered up fine for us. And it even factory reset fine for us. But it's when we went to actually set it up that it crashes and like fails the setup. So that's the same. We want to try the same thing here. And if it sets up fine for us, then you know, it kind of leads us in a direction of what questions to ask Ryan here. We need to know a little more about the history of this HomePod. Oh, the side camera. So because I use an iPhone for this camera, whenever a HomePod is in setup mode, it shows the setup prompt on my phone camera, or on my phone, and it kills the camera, because Apple doesn't allow you to use the camera in the background. So I have to kill it, reopen it, reconnect it, yeah, save. Gosh, what the heck? And then I reconnect it. And it's, yeah, okay. Well, I guess the side camera is just broken now. Never mind. We won't have that camera today. It's not even Monday. It's supposed to, like, I'm supposed to have all these sorts of malfunctions on Mondays, not Tuesdays. Update in progress. Interesting. What is it on? Ah. I know what's going on here. I know what's going on here, and my crash out in my rant was absolutely and totally invalid. So, this HomePod, the reason why they sent it in to us is because it is still on OS 12. I bet you they sent this in to us because they couldn't get it to update, and they want us to do a bit of maintenance while we've got it here. Let me see. See, all right. You guys want some words of wisdom? Here's a very good piece of wisdom for you. Anger makes you stupid. Anger smooths your brain over. We got ourselves all worked up before we even figured out what was really going on with Ryan's HomePod, and we went off on a whole rant, and we were wrong the whole time. I'm almost absolutely positive that this is simply just stuck on an old OS version, and it's not the same as what we've got going on with this one here. I'm still mad. I'm still mad about the situation that we're in. The lack of parts, the lack of repairability, the lack of being able to fix it yourself if you're perfectly able to, because you can't.
Marvin said you need a label sticker printer that has all the infos on it. Not just the repair number or name.
This does give me all the info. This tells me everything I need to know. So the first one's the number, the second one's the name if they wanted their name on stream, and the third one's the problem. And if that doesn't give me enough info, then I've got my spreadsheet up here with the correlating number and their entire repair form. So it would take more time and effort and not give as much benefit to label make and like have everything on these. I don't want too much info on there. I just want enough that I can glance at it from a distance and see what it's got going on with it. I did think of a label sticker printer and like a dyno, whatever the heck they're called. Another problem with those labels from the label makers, they're not made to be removed once you stick them on. So if I stick those on these, they're gonna leave like this weird film behind and like part of the actual label. I don't know if you've ever tried to remove a label maker made label from something before, but actually I've got Big Bubba right here. I think we can use this as an example. Oh no, that came off beautifully. Poor, bad example. But the background loves to stick to what you've labeled, and it's a nightmare to clean up. The gaffer's tape is perfect because gaffer's tape is made to stick down temporarily and then remove without leaving any residue behind. Kind of like painter's tape, but a little more durable.
Marvin said my two label makers don't do that, but I hear you. Stefan said homepod.
Your label makers don't do that? I would be curious if you're willing to... Actually, I've got a label maker. I won't make it.
Kurt said my Dymo label maker leaves so much residue, but my cheap Chinese one doesn't at all.
Oh, that's funny. So the Dymo brand labels, the good stuff is what leaves the crap behind. I gotta cheap out on my labels is what I'm thinking. Another thing...
Marvin said I also have two cheap Chinese label makers.
This is kind of a silly reason, but I like having the long, tall vertical strip.
Your music library.
If I do...
Kurt said mine is made by Neko and I really like it.
If I do a label maker, then it's going to have all the information on one line, or I'd have to print multiple labels and stick multiple labels on there. So I like the tape. It's easy, cheap, simple, and I can just quickly write down what I've got going on there.
Stefan said your music library. Kurt said Nick buy a Neko.
And buy a Nelco? I'll consider it. I like my gaffer's tape a lot, though. Let's see... Yeah, okay, Ryan did opt for hardware maintenance.
Kurt said maybe not for the pod repair labels but just in general kinda great. Marvin said the Chinese label makers won't let you connect to a computer though, only their smartphone apps.
playing. I don't know where my label maker went.
Marvin said I sue the Neko even for shipping label printing, because my Epson printer died.
Look at that weather. What a day. That'll probably take a good minute or so. We can probably see
Stefan said, hey Siri, play some music.
You'll need to update
No,
the software on
wait.
this HomePod before I can help.
How did that work? That's never worked before. Oh, this is cursed.
Stefan said, hell yeah.
No.
Kurt Gubert said, LOL.
No. You guys weren't supposed to have this power.
Marvin said, hey Siri, turn off all lights.
No. Oh, that's weird. That didn't work.
Stefan said, hey Siri, call wife. Kurt Gubert
You'll
said,
need
hey
to
Siri,
update the
play
software on this
Despacito.
HomePod before I can help with personal content. Open the Home app on your iPhone and go to Home Settings, Speakers, Software Update.
Curse you all.
Marvin said, hey Siri, turn off all lights.
It looks like you haven't set up any HomeKit accessories. You can connect smart devices, like lights, locks, and thermostats, in the Home app.
Yeah, you're not going to get her to do anything on this home because that's the only one in this is a whole test home and all that. So
Stefan
obviously-
said, hey Siri, call I'm dying. Kurt Gubert
Should I
said,
call
hey Siri,
emergency
tell me a joke.
services?
No.
Marvin said, damn it, Nick.
I bet you my other HomePods in the room are on my main home. If I turned my monitor's volume up enough, it would probably trigger them too. But I shall not.
Stefan said, hey Siri, what's my address?
I can't get that info for you here.
Marvin said, hey Siri, play a radio station.
Now playing Apple Music.
Oh!
Nah, I had this jumping to get a wedgie. Be flipped over your boxes or over your foe. The other.
Alright. Kicking it off with a banger. Oh, wife's home. Alright, folks. That is all that we've got the time for.
Marvin said, I have his address.
Hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair. You won't have my address for long. I'm going to be moving, and I have a new registrar that uses a private address. You guys won't know where I am soon. Haha. Hope
Marvin
you all
said, have a great evening, Nick.
hope you all enjoyed,
Stefan said, hey Siri, play WAP.
and I hope to catch you